It's been a beautiful set of days here on the Central Coast, cooler than we've seen recently though, so continuing to see that little bit of a shift. And with those onshore winds, it's been a little bit of a tricky on and off day across Morro Bay. So here's what today looked like in a quick time lapse that I put together. So we started off with some cloud cover, saw some very cloudy conditions for much of the morning, a little bit of fog for the mid-afternoon, and some clear skies all mixed in there. So kind of a complicated day out there, and it shows just how variable that cloud cover is just off our shores. And with those winds pulling it onshore, that's kind of the day we start to see along our coastal valleys, even those beaches really seeing that. Interior staying a little bit on the clearer side. We're going to be still seeing a more active pattern over the next couple days, but the key part is that those temperatures are going to be staying lower, just like we've been seeing recently. Right now, temperatures significantly cooler than normal for this time of the year. Only 81 up in Paso Robles. Typical for this time of the year, about 93. 72 in San Luis Obispo and Santa Maria, 77 in San Ynez, 75 degrees in Santa Barbara, only 81 in California Valley. So we're cooler than normal all across the region. But that being said, it is still incredibly comfortable out there. No major concerns in your forecast except for the winds. Check these out. 31 miles an hour right now in Santa Maria, 28 miles an hour in San Luis Obispo. Even in those interiors, which were a little bit calmer earlier today, still pretty much everywhere upwards of 15 miles an hour. The only slight exception is right in Santa Barbara. They're in a little bit of a bowl there, but even that's going to be changing over the next couple of hours. And those winds are really our main headline today because it's very gusty for pretty much all of our communities, and it's going to be slightly hazardous along our south coast. We have yet another sundowner wind event for our south coast. I'm zooming out because pretty much everywhere is going to be seeing these very gusty conditions. This wind advisory in place from now all the way through 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, but especially for that south coast, it's mainly going to be a concern for the very quick to overnight hours right around sunset. It's a sundowner wind event. Very much those hours are going to be where it's going to be worst. Now we have these cooler conditions, and all because of this low pressure that's continuing to stick around the region. And what it means for us is just that cooler air for pretty much the entire west. For us, that means still gusty and cooler conditions, not just today, but all the way through the rest of the week before we start to see a bit of a warm up into the weekend. Here's what we're looking at in terms of those temperatures outside for tomorrow. 78 in Paso Robles, so even cooler than it was today. 71 for San Luis Obispo, Santa Maria, and Lompoc. 74 in Santa Barbara. Temps in the low 50s overnight. Morro Bay at 64. 80 up in San Miguel in the 5 cities. Rio Grande at 66. 77 in Shannon. 69 degrees in Napomo. Goleta at 73. 77 in San Ynez. We'll stay on the cooler side Wednesday and Thursday, then a slight warm-up is expected as we head into the early portion of the weekend, staying on the warmer side all the way through the beginning portion of next week. We're talking mid-70s for Santa Barbara, Santa Maria, and San Luis Obispo, 80s up in Paso Robles.